Good evening, I'm Jessica, and welcome back to Crypto Millionaires, your daily source for XRP news and market analysis. We're coming to you live on this Sunday evening with some major developments in the Ripple ecosystem that are reshaping how institutions view XRP. Our first story tonight focuses on the explosive growth of XRP spot ETFs and what it means for the asset's long-term trajectory. The Canary Capital XRP ETF, known as XRPC, has become a game changer for institutional investors, and we're seeing massive capital flows into these new investment vehicles. The numbers are telling a compelling story about where XRP is headed. And to break down exactly what's happening behind the scenes, I'm going to pass things over to Raul, who's standing by in his office with a deeper dive into these ETF dynamics. Raul, take it away.
Thanks, Jessica. What we're witnessing right now is a fundamental shift in how XRP is being accumulated and held. Since the launch of the XRP spot ETFs, we've seen approximately $164 million in cumulative inflows into these investment products, with XRPI trading at $12.69, up 2.53% as of today, and XRPR sitting at $17.85 with a 2.67% gain. But here's what's really remarkable. Jessica, and this is the story behind the headline, exchange reserves of XRP have dropped by 29% over the last 30 days. That means fewer tokens are sitting on exchanges available for retail traders, which historically signals institutional accumulation and long-term holding behavior. Binance, the world's largest exchange, now holds just 2.7 billion XRP tokens, the lowest amount they've held in 12 months. What this tells us is that traditional finance players and institutional custodians are systematically removing XRP from liquid markets. Meanwhile, XRP's market cap has climbed to $135 billion, cementing its position as the fourth largest digital asset in the entire cryptocurrency space. Analysts are projecting that if these weekly ETF inflows remain steady at $100 to $150 million, we could see XRP push toward $3.50 to $3.80 within the next bull cycle. Back to you in the studio, Jessica.
Thank you, Raul, for that comprehensive breakdown. The supply dynamics really do paint a picture of serious institutional conviction in XRP's future. Now, switching gears to our second major story of the evening, we're looking at long-term price forecasts and what crypto analysts are predicting for XRP as we head into the early 2030s. The projections coming from major players in the industry are nothing short of extraordinary, and they're based on some very specific market catalysts that we're seeing unfold right now. To explore what these price targets actually mean and what conditions would need to exist for them to materialize, I want to bring in Rachel, who's reporting from her lakeside studio. Rachel, what are you seeing in these long-term projections?
Hi, Jessica, thank you. The future price models for XRP are absolutely fascinating because they're built on concrete developments happening in real time. Let me walk you through the scenarios. We have analysts at Changelly taking a more conservative approach, projecting that XRP could start 2031 at around $22, peak at $31.46 mid-year, and potentially finish 2031 at $37.33. That's one view of the future. But then you have Google Gemini's analysis, which explores what happens if XRP truly becomes a dominant financial infrastructure asset. In that optimistic scenario, Gemini suggests XRP could potentially reach between $500 and $1,000 if it becomes widely adopted as a settlement asset among banks and corporations globally. The catalyst for that kind of upside is regulatory clarity combined with real-world adoption in cross-border payments. Now, Gemini does caveat that major setbacks, whether regulatory, competitive, or market-driven, could easily derail these outcomes. We also have another analyst, 24 Hours Crypto, who predicted back in March that XRP could sit between $92.59 and $185.19 by 2030. What ties all these projections together is the recognition that XRP's dual identity as both a settlement token and a liquidity rail for regulated financial products gives it structural advantages that other cryptocurrencies simply don't possess. Jessica, back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Rachel. So here's what we're looking at tonight, folks. The XRP story has two massive components converging at the same moment in time. On one side, we have institutional adoption accelerating through spot ETFs, massive supply reductions on exchanges, and over $4 billion in futures open interest signaling serious capital commitment. On the other side, we have credible price forecasts from major analysts suggesting XRP could see substantial appreciation over the next several years if real-world adoption continues and regulatory conditions remain favorable. The underlying catalyst is Ripple's acquisition of Hidden Road and the creation of Ripple Prime, the first crypto-owned global prime brokerage, which integrates XRP and Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin into institutional infrastructure. Right now, XRP is trading around the $2.20 mark, consolidating after recent volatility. But the structural story remains intact. As always, here at Crypto Millionaires, we want to remind you to do your own research before making any investment decisions. If you found value in today's analysis, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss tomorrow's update. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Crypto Millionaires.